Hey everybody, welcome to State Gamelands 211 once again on this beautiful Memorial Day. Grateful for all who served and remembering those who passed. So today's hike is going to be a little different, but I'm also going to tell you that this is going to be an experiment. This is my grumpy hike. So let me explain that. We're going to turn the camera around. Bear with me. Yeah, there I am. This has just not been my day or my weekend. So we're going to do an experiment and see if grumpy hike can be turned around into happy hike. My favorite quote is John Muir, the "Into the forest I go to lose my mind and find my soul." Well, that is exactly what I'm here for today. I'll talk about some of my grumpy stuff because I'm human and maybe you can relate to some of it. But my hope is that by the time I'm done hiking today, I'm no longer grumpy. And that's, as a bug flies into my face. That's just the icing on the cake, guys. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to turn you back around so you can see the forest instead of my grumpy face. There we go. Way better than looking at grumpy Amy. You just have to listen to grumpy Amy. All right. So we're going to continue to push through here. This hike in particular is, I want to say like only 1.5 miles in, and you get to an overlook. You have to be careful though, because you could totally walk past it. And this is if I didn't mess up and go to the wrong parking lot. But it's a pretty spot though to sit, and that's where I'm gonna eat my lunch and try to calm my grumpy self down. Here we go. Why is Amy grumpy? I've got a lot of reasons, unfortunately. So those of you that have been watching my videos, you know that I love my job. I really, really do. But those of you that know teachers or are teachers, you know that May is exhausting. May is so much fun for the kids, and I love doing that stuff for my students, and so many of them are just absolutely grateful for those events and getting to have those memories. But I'm teacher tired. I love my class this year. I'll swear by that, like hands down. And if any of them are watching, they're gonna get smug. But this group is my favorite group that I've ever taught, and I'm gonna be really, really sorry to let them go. This is also my last year teaching in good old room 68. So our school district is building a new building, and that's exciting in a lot of ways. You know, it's climate control that works. Nothing's leaking. You know, there's a lot of good things that could come of having a new building, and I'm certainly not complaining. But room 68 was my first classroom, and it's where I fell in love with my job. And I'm a little sentimental, and I made it a place where kids feel at home, and I made it a place of learning. And I'm gonna see if I can get this hawk for you. And it's just, my experience in room 68, other than the year it flooded and we had to rebuild, it's just been great. So I'm sad and sorry to say goodbye. I'm starting to feel like I parked at the other spot and not the one that I wanted to. Oh well. We're gonna stay in the woods and have fun. Alright, we're back. I had to go through quite the jungle. I did mess up. I think the one with the overlook is up further, so we'll drive up there a little bit later. We're gonna see this little adventure through. I think this is actually my blueberry bush hike, and also there's like a little pond back here, so we'll walk back to that and enjoy the solitude that the woods affords on this beautiful day. As we walk through the forest here, I'll register my second grumpy complaint. And also, think for a second, I think I want to go that way. I like playing up there. We might play up there on our way back, because this is an out and back. So my second complaint is backpacks. I bought a new backpack this year that I was very excited about, and it was what is this? It was an Osprey, a Tempest. Oh, lovely. A beautiful pit full of tires. I liked the backpack, but what I discovered was a 22-liter backpack, even for my day hiking, can't hold all my stuff. Especially when we get into summer and I start carrying a boatload of water bottles. But more importantly, I need space to carry my like 12,000 GoPro batteries that I need, because they just don't last long. So I think what I've learned from this experience is I need less. Like, I need a backpack with space, but I'm a simple girl, and I don't need all the bells and whistles. I don't need all the fancy stuff. I could simplify my life and whip out the all trails, because I've done this before, but I don't really feel like it. I'm feeling cranky and ornery and stubborn, so I'm gonna do it the hard way. So that was frustrating though, because I have a brand new backpack, and not only did I feel stupid because I couldn't get it on, but I was also frustrated because I don't know why it should be so hard. Back again into the rhododendron jungle. Oh dear God. I'm definitely gonna have to check the ticks since it's hot. Part of me saying I think this comes out to like this rocky area. I've been back here for a while. It's Pennsylvania, so it almost surely will come out to a rocky area. We'll see. This path here looks a lot nicer than the path that I chose. So this looks like another rhododendron nightmare up here. We might not go too much further. In fact, I think we'll turn around here, because this isn't the hike that I was intending to do anyway. And if you're watching, you're probably starting to laugh, because you can see that even though I said I was going to turn around, I'm still going straight, because I'm like, wait, this looks like a path. Because I'm aiming and I don't know when to turn around. And yeah, I'm just going to keep going forward because, well, just because that's who I am. There's the pond. See, it's a good thing I kept going. And there's a path that looks way better than what I just did. So we're going to take that on our way out of here. Let's see what we can see. Is this? Not very. Right. So, just a little pond. Nothing spectacular. I'm striking out with the frogs though, other than at Moldy. Because normally there's a bunch of frogs here and I didn't hear anything splash in. This is probably an awful angle, but since I stopped and replaced the battery, and I'm on the wrong hike, I'm going to eat my half of a wrap that I brought, because it went sideways in my backpack and is kind of messy now. So you're going to watch me struggle with that while I continue to complain about my life. It'll be great. So to continue with Grumpy Hike, we had school overwhelm, sadness at saying goodbye to room 68. Ooh, that's nice and messy. The backpack debacle, which has been driving me nuts. I didn't bring napkins either. This should be fun. I swear that picking out a car is easier than finding the perfect backpack. So I wanted to hike yesterday. My allergies have been bad, and I had the worst migraine. I ended up sleeping most of the day. And anyone that knows me, I'm not like a lay on the sofa all day kind of person. And that's kind of what I did yesterday. And that's the second time this week that I've had a bad headache. So that kind of stank. I like literally wasted a day of my 3-day weekend on the sofa. Oh, finally. I know people that are like friends and family watching this are familiar, but ooh, I almost walked in a pile of mud. This is what happens when you're staring at the sky. But the last 6 months for me have been a major upheaval of my life. So, at times, feeling like an almost literal hell. And other times, feeling just fine. And a lot of ups and downs. But I did not expect to be starting over at 45. I did dip my toes into the dating pool for the first time. I hadn't really been planning on it. Someone kind of reached out unexpectedly, and it was nice, but it's unfortunately not going to work out, which has a lot more to do with me than this individual. As I think more than anything right now, I just need to figure out who I am and what I want out of life and where I want to be. And to be honest, this is where I want to be. I want to wake up and have no guilt and no responsibility, because I've never had that in my entire life. I started having my kids at a young age. And get up and go and do this. Like, I don't know, this is what makes my heart sing. This is what makes me happy. I like being under this pine, it's pretty cool. I really love this spot. Which I know might seem kind of funny, because there's not much here. It's a bunch of mostly dead pine trees and a carpet of pine needles that have long since dried up. But I don't know. The easy navigation. So, I've listed all my troubles, and I was definitely grumpy on my way here. It was trafficy driving through the Dorf. I hit every red light, and I think I was feeling pretty savage until I hit 419. And then the rest of my ride here, the more bucolic it became, the more I started to relax. The true sign of my grumpiness is when I'm driving to my hiking destinations, it's like a little rock concert in my car. I blare music and sing along, and it's great. I did blare music, but I was not singing along today. I was like stubbornly silent. So here's to hoping that I feel like singing on my way home. All right, so Overlook Trail as promised. Took me a little while to remember where on earth to park. So I can guarantee you that next time I want to walk it, I probably won't forget. After I drove up and down Gold Mine Road twice. It's not my favorite road to drive up and down. My last walk was certainly making me feel a little less grumpy than how I started out. Trying to find the parking for this spot, well, it added back to some of my grumpiness because it was frustrating. So hopefully hiking this hike will wipe away the rest of the grumpies, and that today's video will show you the transformation of Amy as I walk through the woods and get some serotonin into my system. So I'm going to flip you around. There we go. So you can see what I'm seeing. It's really starting to cloud up. I don't even need my sunglasses anymore. Now I've done this hike a few times, and I've been really fortunate to see box turtles and black rat snakes along here. So we'll see if that's on the agenda for today, if we get to see any critters. I think one time I saw 3 box turtles, which is awesome because I don't see them very often, not like I used to. I remember when I was a kid, and feel free to travel back with me to the 1980s, you know, after watching my Saturday morning cartoons. You know, I'd go out and play in the field. I grew up on a farm, and I swear there were like box turtles everywhere. And then for years and years and years of hiking, I didn't see any. And then just last year, I felt like I saw a whole bunch. So I don't know if I just was oblivious because I wasn't looking, or if there was a decline in the population. The sun's starting to peek out again. It'd be nice to get some sun when we get to the overlook. So I'm also contemplating going back up the road, and I've never hiked out to the reservoir yet, but I want to take the easy path. I saw the loop that goes around it. I'd like to do that, but, oh, chipmunk. But the loop has creek crossings, and it's those wires, and the Amy is scared of heights part of me is not so sure about those. Inching across bouncy wires isn't something I'm comfortable doing. I feel like I could do it, but I'd probably complain about it the whole way, or burn like 12,000 calories because my heart will be beating so hard. One of those two things. Or both, maybe both. So maybe someday I'll pluck up the courage to try it out, or I'll find a hiking buddy that'll encourage me to try it out, or that's smart enough to invoke my stubborn side and goad me into it. And I think I just found a spider web. Hopefully I didn't find the spider. Or you're gonna hear something really special while we're hiking. So, I have my list of state parks. I know I mentioned before that I wanna visit a ton of them this summer because that was a goal I always had that got kind of pushed to the wayside. And I'd like to, oh, sorry, that was a big step for me. I'm not tall and I'm not short, I'm average. Some of those steps are a little big. But I didn't want to hit any state parks today because most of them have lakes and it's Memorial Day and lakes draw people. And in my slightly grumpy state of mind, I don't really like people-y hikes to begin with, but today I needed there to be like 0 people so I can get my head back on straight. So this is actually pretty darn perfect. We'll see. Your job as you watch this video, again, is to watch the transformation. Do I start to look and sound happier than I did earlier? I'm hoping the answer to that is yes. Now, believe it or not, I really haven't hiked that much today. It feels like I went far because I was bushwhacking, but I really didn't. I don't even think I hit 10,000 steps yet. So if I did, I missed the Fitbit celebrating. Ooh, another spider web. No, apparently nobody's been on here for a while. All right, get you situated here. You can start to see the overlook through the woods. We're past the chainsaw, and we're almost to where we can get up on the overlook. So I figured I'd turn you back on. I actually was able to walk a lot faster when I wasn't filming. So it didn't take me too long to get here. So it is pretty and it is peaceful up there. But in true keeping with Grumpy Walk, that was something bigger. I don't know what it was. I guess it could have been a squirrel. It was probably just a squirrel. It was bigger than a chipmunk. Anyway, in keeping with Grumpy Walk, why wouldn't our peaceful overlook? Ooh, there's a deer right ahead. Stranger danger. Why wouldn't it be over? Got a fly spider on my head. Let's try that again. In keeping with Grumpy Walk, why wouldn't there be the sounds of chainsaws when I get up to the peaceful overlook? So, with that comment, I'm not quite out of the woods yet. Ha ha ha. No pun intended. Maybe a little bit. See where our dear friend was. The deer tracks. I'm sure our friend is long gone. Here we are. Just got to pick our way over. There we go. I thought there was a better path. Now, as previously stated, I'm not a fan of climbing and heights, so get ready to find an awkward way up here. This one is not bad, but there was a hole in the ground there, and I found it. Lucky me. start with here and work our way across. So, there we go. Looking out over. With the sound of chainsaws in the distance. So like I mentioned, it's not the most amazing, spectacular thing. It's still a nice spot and it's easy to get to. Alright, get ready for some awkward videography here because I gotta swing myself up into some odd positions. So you can kinda, I think I used to come up a little further. So you can kind of look down. That actually doesn't look so bad down there. Okay, we'll continue our ascent here. We're gonna go this way. I think that might be where I used to come up at. Actually, it looks a little like mown down there. I can't remember. Oh yeah. Ooh. The chainsaw guy must have been here. Because that used to be a sea of trees. You couldn't look down there. Alright, the dude's been busy. So I guess we're working on habitat. And then again, look down. Kind of steep going down. It looks like if you go down over there, a little more of a gradual incline. And then look out over. And I'll grab the phone then so I can zoom. See the highway. 80 maybe? I-80? Maybe. Alright. We're gonna make our way up here. I just realized I have leaves stuck in my shoe. Get those out of there. And then this here, so this is kind of where we came from. And this is where we're heading. And let's see, which way do I want to go? Alright. I think I want to actually go, I don't want it to go that way. I should have come up that way, that's what I should have done. Now I gotta awkwardly climb. Alright, here we go. Kind of a view down. And I apologize, this is as close to the edge as I'll get. My fear of heights precludes me from going any closer, especially since it's sloped down. So I'll give you the pan. So this is to my right. We're gonna flip you horizontal. That works better in my videos anyway. Clouds look pretty awesome. So maybe I'm not so sorry for the clouds. Again, if you look closely, you can see the vehicles on the highway. It's definitely not the most spectacular or scenic view in Pennsylvania, but it is nice and it is relaxing. But not as bad as I did when I left the house. I mean, who can be grumpy with a sky like that in the background? Beautiful view. Can't beat it. So even though at this point, I'm still a little bit grouchy, being out in nature has definitely helped my spirits today so far. Hi, buddy. You didn't know you were being watched. Flip you this way. Sorry, it's very hard to hold steady. I'm using the selfie stick. I'm leaning over a ledge here. A little out of my comfort zone. But So I've been working my way back for a little bit now. Sorry, I'm not using the selfie stick. I don't feel like digging it out. Try to hold you at an appropriate distance. Sun's peeking out again, shining through the trees. That nice, if you hike, you know what I mean, that nice woodsy, like musty smell. Definitely helping. Definitely helping. So we're gonna see when we get back to the car. I'm gonna check out the time. Shouldn't take me probably more than 15 minutes maybe to get back, if even that long. And we might head to the, just a squirrel. We might head to the reservoir and check that out. On our way to the Lebanon Reservoir. So, not a whole lot going on here. I finally hit those 10,000 steps. I'll check in with you when I get to the reservoir, or if I see something cool along the way. All right, cool thing found. Not sure exactly what that is. Some sort of foundation? That's interesting. We gotta go around and check that out. Also, that looks beautiful. And you missed it. I tried to do a pull up on that tree. I was unsuccessful. My legs are strong, but I've got spaghetti arms. Well, let's see. Well, I'm guessing root cellar and some sort of foundation. It's pretty cool. Looked off to the side and saw this little creek. There's the sparkles on the water. Gotta love it. All right, I made my way through the woods. I could hear this from up on the trail and I wanted to see it. I found a good spot to cut down. This definitely lifts my spirits. Here's to hoping I don't drop my phone in the creek. that would not be good for my spirits or my wallet. I know it doesn't seem like much, but like this just means everything to me. So on our way back through here, I'm going to talk about gratitude a little bit. Another sign that my spirits are lifting. But as I was walking pretty swiftly down that State Gameland road toward the reservoir, I don't know, the exertion, because I was trying to move it pretty fast, and just focusing on the act of walking and taking everything in gave me some time to reflect. And like, I'm not down on myself for being grumpy. I'm a human being, and I've been through a lot fairly recently, and I, for the most part, have managed to keep my crap together. So I'm proud of myself for that. But I am human, and I have bad days, and I get grumpy. But I was thinking about, I love trees like this, they're so cool. But I was thinking about, you know, I started off telling you about my classroom. And like, being a little sad to move on to like a new space. I know anybody that knows my classroom is probably like, why? Because it literally flooded. I got a call 2 years ago, the day after Christmas, that my classroom was completely destroyed. And when I say completely destroyed, I really, really mean it. So me in room 68 had to rise like a phoenix from the ashes, except this time it was a phoenix coming out of a puddle, I guess. But we shook off the droplets and rebuilt, and it's better than ever. But what I do need to focus on is being grateful. Being grateful that I work for Peckway Valley, and that I got to be the teacher in room 68 for the last 8 years. And that I got to meet a lot of really awesome kids in that room. And I got to make a lot of memories. And I got to teach, sorry about that. I got to teach a lot of kids. I got to connect with a lot of people. I met one of my closest and dearest friends in that classroom. Couldn't get through this world without her. And I'm gonna make new memories in the new classroom. All right, this is pretty cool. This, the stuff that makes my heart happy. So my second gripe is the backpack situation. Other than the inconvenience of running to REI yet again, I'll solve it. If the timing's right, I might, like I said, stop at Cabela's today. If not, I'll go another day and see if I can find something else. Eventually I'll find the right thing. I just didn't think that finding a backpack would be harder than like buying a new car or house. Now I found my peace and happiness. Look at the reflection of the sky in the water. That's pretty gnarly. Wow. Why did I not do this one sooner? I'm telling you. I need to figure out how to get paid to just go hiking. Okay, this is the water. Not the sky, the water. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna stop and chill for a minute. Just enjoy this. It's almost 4 o'clock. I kind of want to keep going. I'm not going to make it all the way around the reservoir. I mean, I probably could, but I'm not gonna. Not sure how I feel about those cable crossings. But it's so pretty. It looks like a painting. I could like hear Bob Ross and his happy little trees painting their reflection in the water. It's really pretty. This is what I needed. So while we're stopped, going back to my gratitude, I am grateful for the opportunity to meet new people and hopefully like-minded people that are strong and independent like me, love and appreciate nature, work hard, love animals. And I have some friends that are like that already, which is awesome. I just gotta connect with them to go hiking. But I am grateful. Like, I'm in a position now where I can travel and go see not everything I want. I'm not rich by any means, but you know, I'll have the opportunities to go see the things I want to see and do the things I want to do. So there's gratitude there. And at first I was really devastated about the turn my life took. But I see the silver linings, like I really do. And I'm grateful for those. Like, I see the possibilities out there and the things that I can do and the things that I'm capable of. And it's pretty cool. Like, in some ways, I can finally actually be me. So I'm grateful for that. In case you're wondering, me is just some, like, woodsy, wandering, tree-hugging chick that likes to eat snacks in the woods. All right, so I'm going to turn around here. The adventuring part of me really wants to just, walk around the whole reservoir. And the intelligent part of me is like, I don't think you're going to make it. And those wire crossings that I really don't want to go across because they're scary. I'll tackle them someday. I'll get brave enough. But it is really pretty here, and I'm glad that I finally did it. I'm kind of out of the sun now it's dark. But I'm very glad that I decided to do it. This rock wall is pretty gnarly. So next time I'll have to come earlier and put on my big girl pants and decide to go across those wires, I guess, so I can see the other side. But it's very pretty, and up until about 10 minutes ago, very serene. And in about 10 minutes, it'll be serene again. On my way back to the car from the reservoir, pulled out the GoPro just to talk and walk for a little bit and wrap this video up. So it's kind of funny. It's 4:30, It was really dark back here. Between the tree cover and the cloud cover. I looked at my watch and I thought, wow, it must be getting late, but it's actually only 4:30. So that's not so bad. But I definitely want to look into doing the loop that goes around the lake. And as I mentioned earlier, putting on my big girl pants and getting across those wires. I just won't film it, and then you won't see how scared I am. And I'll tell you that it went great and that I didn't fall in, and, you know, that'll be good. But it does look beautiful over on the other side, so it's definitely worth giving a try. And it's always good to conquer a fear, right? So, I told you today why I was grumpy, and I spent some time in the woods, and I was able to turn it around and tell you why I'm grateful. And I do, it wasn't for the camera, I do legitimately feel better than I did this morning and when I started hiking today. I was so grumpy that I almost didn't even come out hiking. That's pretty grumpy. So, I'm so glad I did though, because it gave me the mindset shift that I really needed to have. You know, like I said, it's the last week has been something else. You know, with being teacher tired in May and changing classrooms and entering the world of dating and then jumping back out and being unhappy with the second backpack that I picked up, and it's all little stuff, and I know that. But after a while, and allergies, 2 migraines in 1 week I haven't had a migraine in years. On Thursday, it wasn't quite a migraine, but yesterday, I slept almost all day. I thought my head was going to split in two. It was bad. So, hopefully, being outside today doesn't give me a repeat performance of that. So, sorry, I keep whipping my head back and forth. There's birds and squirrels and chipmunks ducking for cover when I walk by and I'm watching them. Those are all, truth be told, they're all small things in this complicated world. And there are worse things that I could be dealing with, or worse things that could be happening in my life. And I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my job and my home. Grateful that my car runs and got me here. There's a lot. There's a lot to be grateful for. So, mind shift accomplished. I'm so excited right now. I heard him going up a tree. There's one going up a tree. And there's one. The one in the tree is pretty high up. So cool. Hear him up there. Oh my gosh, he's up really high. So is this guy a baby? Hey, little buddy. Or budette. I'd like to. Oh my god, he's so little. Hi there. I'm not coming any closer. Your mama's all the way up in that tree. I can't even see her. Hi, little one. Hi. Oh my gosh. So little. Wonder where Mama went. Oh, I see her. I see her, I see her. Hi, Mama. I'm gonna try. Okay, looking straight up. There. I'm gonna zoom. My sunglasses just fell off my head. I can see her. She's watching me. I don't blame her. Wow. I see you. Hi. It's hard to see on the camera. I'm not sure if I'm getting her up there or not. Trying. I think right there. A fly buzzing around my head. I think right there. Pretty sure. Sorry. Yes. The little one's just toddling around. That's as most as my zoom will go. I see ya. He's fine. She was scurrying up there, though. Hi, cutie. Sorry, I keep moving around. I keep looking up to see where Mom is. There go my glasses again. I see her up there hanging on the tree. Alright, I have wanted to see porcupines for years. So cool. Alright, I'm going to turn you off and I'm going to quietly make my way back to the road. I'm going to try this. But no wonder I can never find these guys. So, right there. So you see this nest? Over there is Mama. In the crook. Hold on. Right there. And I apologize again. The more you zoom, the harder it is. Alright. I'm gonna move on. Alright, now it's a good day. No more grievances. So, I'm gonna keep walking, because there's a good chance that she scurried up the tree just because I was walking. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Walking down the path in the first place. Her scrabbling up the tree is the only reason I knew anything was in there. So, sorry. So that's way cool. Baby's still under some branches there, trying to stay real still. So we're gonna keep walking and quit stressing them out so Mama can get back down to the baby. So cool, so cool. I've never seen one before. That is so cool. And then to get to see a baby one, oh my God. That just turned what started out as a really not my favorite day into a really good day. All right. Unless something else cool crawls out of the woods, I'll catch you next time.